Hey everybody, it's Marty the Party and my buddy Rat back there, and we are gonna code for a little bit. It is Christmas Eve for me. It is December 24th. Tomorrow is Christmas Day, so that's fun. I have today off. I'll probably finish this up and then go out and do a little bit of Christmas shopping for the fam. And but I did want to get this done ahead of time. I've actually already got my dogs walked for the day. I take them on one big long walk and then a bunch of little walks throughout the day. But I've got the long walk done, and today I want to get the Dota Chenro, which I guess is a 12-sided thing, and it takes a radius. So that will be cool. Yesterday we got, and then like if at all possible, I would love to do the other. I believe they're called platonic planes, platonic geometries, um, and that would be cool if I could get the other ones done. Now, yesterday I got two of the plane geometries done, or two of the two-dimensional geometries done. I think they're the only ones too. There's the circle geometry, and then there's a square geometry, and I got those two done. And these are the changes for that. Basically, uh, circle geometry, and this is where it'd be kind of nice if they were on different lines. You'd be able to easily see the difference there. But yeah, you can see that I added the circle and plane, and then here's the service changes. I think we kind of figured out that this may not be necessary, which is a bit disturbing. Um, and then here's some changes in the template. Now I'm going to try something a little different today. I'm going to try to do one of them first and then not make the commit and then use this to sort of guide me to doing the other four. I think there was four. Either there's a total of five or four. I can't remember. But anyways, so I'm going to add these three. Well, first I'm going to add my README changes. And let's say get. I'm in my yeah. I'm in the circle commit dash m README updates adds README updates, and then basically everything else I want to add. I wonder if I should. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I should. I think I should wait. Uh, I think these are actually going to be helpful. Like now, I can just be like import. Like I know exactly what I want to do. I do hate the fact that this is all. Now I'm really starting to want to. Oops. I see. I wish it was like this before, right? Because then we would see the two changes, um, and it'd be a little bit more useful. Um, Now, like it was cool, yeah, because yesterday I was able to just fully add two geometries. And like my boss, he always says, you have to crawl and then you can walk and then you can fly. And that was kind of like flying, like it used to take a long time to add a full geometry. Now we can just add one. We can add two in a day, in an hour. You get two full new creations, you could see them and all that. And that's really awesome. All right, so I want to add, let's see, let's go back over here. This, and then we'll just add this. Kind of hate to do it all in one big um, commit, but it's just kind of like a little better. I wonder if you can put, I think you could probably put line breaks in here too. Thank you, Rhett. Like I've mentioned, Rhett seems to be, she seems to really want to do a good job in these videos. She doesn't quite know exactly what's going to be good at this point, but I think she's doing pretty good. So we can kind of just blindly, like it makes some sense, right? Like this thing's called a mesh interface, and one of the possible shapes is that. I think that makes sense. It's not like we didn't have to dig in and fully grok it, internalize it completely, but I wonder if we can put lines here. And so that was a comma. Wish I. Oh, I guess there's like three things. There's the geometry, there's the mesh, and then there's this object 3D event map, which I don't really know what that is at all. But it looks like we want to add one more geometry to this, so we want to put one in here. And then paste. Yep. So now it looks like we're done with this file. That was easy. We'll see. Now I guess the next thing would be we would want to add a new one of these dihedron geometry options. And so let's go ahead and let's collapse this for the moment. Oh, that didn't do me any good. So the kind we want, I have in my clipboard, but I'm going to lose. So I want, no, I already. Go back to here, copy that again, paste this. Kind of excited to get to even see what this looks like in ThreeJS. Probably won't be very interesting unless you put it into that normal or whatever basic view, basic material, or maybe a normal material. And so now this should only be displayed for radius. Radius. So is this radius? Yeah, this is radius. So let's go ahead and put these on different lines. A lot of times you'll end up having to put these back up on one line. Some people get kind of worked up about that. It's sure, like let's say we were having, they're like, oh, we're trying to keep everybody busy, right? So we're going to give everybody one of these to do. We'd all be working on the exact same lines. So we would have Git collisions like crazy. So I think, that's why it's so nice to have these on different lines. But it just really bugs some people. These line things, it's kind of weird how, just certain little things get people really spun up. And then all I did was change the name of that. So that name still makes sense. So now when we add a mesh, we should be able to select that dehydroing. And I believe what will happen is, it's still called circle. So that's up here, this very first thing. And that makes sense. And we'll add a mesh, edit the mesh. I wonder if I guess we shouldn't have the word geometry. And then edit the mesh. And I believe it'll still look like a cube even though we select it. Yeah, because that's the default value. Now let's go back. Let's get this guy back out again. And I think our last changes are going to be in this service. And there's two places that we change, and one of them I don't think is actually necessary. Um, but I'm gonna do it anyways, just because this is our, since we're right at the end there, it's just not worth figuring out if there's some weird edge case. Let's go back over here to this guy, copy this again. Gotta go to work, Rat? She said, all right, I gotta go to work. I don't think we want this 16 here. I don't know. I guess that was the detail. I guess we'll just, yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of that. I think that caused us problems yesterday with one of the one of the two that we did yesterday. Okay, and then we have changes down here, which I think these are absolutely necessary. Not sure about the one up there. But where it caused a problem, it seems like maybe it is necessary. But it might be a bug, right? Like we might be like actually, I think we had somewhere like in some strange circumstances it didn't update. Good morning, Rat. And I think the last one we did was, in fact, I wonder if 32 is a good number. So it's kind of funny, I changed it from 16 to 32 down here. So the default is 1. I bet you the first time it's going to be 1, and then it's going to be 1 and then with a 16, and then the next time it'll probably be 32 or 1. If I change the value, it'll be more detailed. That's awesome. Now you can't really see much, but if we give it a normal, there we go. Let's just add some rotation. Oh, let's animate it. I think that's really cool. And 3. I mean, what more can you want? That's awesome. Okay, so now we have that. So we can easily go back and let's see what the next one is. Let's see, there's the platonic. I think we already did, like, we asked it about the platonic solids and it told us that there was a bunch of them. Nope. Okay, what are the platonic? I wonder what makes her get quiet like that. Platonic solids. Question mark. I have to admit though, she really does more emulate the way it is in an actual work environment. There's 5 of them. Tetrahedron is another one. All right, so it looks like that's probably the one, and it has four faces, so that's going to be cool. So we'll go back here, and then I guess up here we'll add a comma and add the word geometry. We'll copy that. Then I guess we'll add a line with no comma, and we'll add that. And then we'll go to here and we'll add copy this whole thing. I guess we'll hit Alt and back. See, this is what they call flying, right? Like we are just getting, getting stuff done. Which, you know, this was always a possibility. Like you can always kind of do this, but you know how far you can get. Like this, we're getting a lot done. I mean, this is neat, um, but you know, there's only so much we can do. I mean, like you know, we're very limited in how far we can go outside. Like I did a really good job architecting the way this meshes works, but once you get outside of the meshes, especially with animations, it's a complete mess. Um, okay, so now we want to find our other thing, which is for radius. So those other two are a bit of a distraction. So it would have been kind of nice to only have this one, the Dota head geometry. All right, so now we should be able to select it. And last time when we did our selection, something was off a little bit. And then I didn't really double check. Okay, so we do have tetrahedron. And then, like here, it'd probably be nice to say 4 sides. But, probably not worth it. Then we can come in here. Well, I guess we want to go to, yeah, this is the top one. We want to hit Alt and back, Alt and back, and then we're doing the tetrahedron. Why don't I see tetrahedron? Oh, because I didn't go back far enough? Oh, man. Okay, so we have 2 of these, so we obviously don't want 2 of those. This and this and this. And then we'll come back all the way down to here. And I guess we'll just copy this whole thing. And we'll paste it. Obviously, this would be like if we're planning to maintain this software at all, we really would need to take a good close look at why we're doing a massive copy and paste. Probably not probably a pretty good red flag that there's something not quite right about this code. But since we're doing our flying now, we're at the flying stage. We're not at the getting set up to fly stage. It's probably okay. Okay, add a mesh, show edit form. Okay, that is interesting. I don't get it. I don't quite get it. Oh, well, maybe I do. So let's rotate it. I guess along the y-axis. No, along the y-axis. So 1. Oh yeah, it is 3. So let's animate it and just watch this baby do its thing. Oh yeah, it's so much easier to visualize while it's moving. So that's really neat. So that's a four-sided thing. I wonder if I make the Y. It's kind of hard to see all the sides. So that's cool. So what is left? We got just a couple more left. We got our cube, we're octahedron. We just did, and we did this guy, and then icosahedron. So we only have two left. How far in are we? So 20 minutes. We did two in 20 minutes. That's pretty cool. And that's, I think, it's kind of interesting that it's saying that it doesn't use that. But like, yeah, I don't really, that's weird to me that it's saying that this is unused. It says everybody else is used, but that one is not used. That's kind of a sign that something is weird. But we definitely are. And this is where it'd be nice if we just had, and we're using it right there. I don't know if that's where it matters, but like it seems like, okay, I guess the thing to do. Oh, maybe it's upset about the comp. What just happened? Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of it and see what happens. Nothing. It was perfectly happy, even though I am using it. And that's what this is right now, right? A tetrahedron. I don't know. That's weird. I'm a very, very curious person in general, so I'm very curious about that, but I want to move on. I don't remember even having to deal with this. Oh, geometry. It's giving me this blue thing. Or I would love to understand why. I just think that that's an issue in the IDE. And probably when I went to go build it out, it would probably die if I removed that. But for now, oh, I don't want the comma. I want the comma there. And save that up. And the IDE recognizes that there was no reason to do a build because we didn't actually change any real code. And so this is the octahedron. And I guess kind of last time I tried to go back in the code, I think this would ended up being a little bit more efficient. I think I need this down here at the very last one, or second to last one. So now we should have an octahedron geometry. Let's just kind of make sure that all works. This is a good time to sort of do a reality check. Yep. And we do have rotation, no, radius is available. Now, last but not least, we will update the service. This is supposed to be an 8-sided shape. Back. Look who's back. Back again. Okay, so there's that, and then I want to copy this whole thing. Now, like in a work environment, I would probably do a pretty deep dive into trying to figure out if there's a good way to turn this into some non-repeating bit of code, that doesn't. But you really, okay, first of all, maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. Like once I dug in, maybe there'd just be way too many issues, like where things need to be separated. But if they weren't, like there's a strong possibility that I could, but then the second big thing I would have to think about is, am I messing, like is somebody else likely to be working on this code? And would I be possibly messing them up by changing the way, like refactoring this code so that it's more maintainable or more efficient or whatever? The reasoning might be to sort of dry this out. And you probably want to email out to everybody, which is very unusual. And then a lot of people don't really read their emails. So that's an 8-sided thing. Again, it's kind of hard to see with the regular. Oh, that's neat. It's like a diamond. And then let's go ahead and animate it, which it doesn't do anything at first. And so we'll animate it across the Z. What did I just do? I have these little gaming, like a gaming mouse, and it has these little buttons. And my left thumb hit the button. And then not Fong, normal, and then animated, and then 3. So it's rotating in and out from us right now. And then Y would be like around in a circle, so 3. And then X is like that around X. And see, I'm super comfortable with all of that, and I wasn't when I started this application. And that was the whole point. All right, so we have one left, and this is our Dota. No, we did our Dota ISO, which is 20 faces. 20 of them. All right, so let's go over here. We know what to do, comma. Okay, so that is weird. The tetrahedron geometry is still like dimmed, like it's not being used. But it does recognize that it's using that one. So that's very strange. So if I remember correctly, there's a second one down here. And now I'm just like on autopilot. I mean, just complete autopilot. There's no reason to even spend any brain cells on this. Last time I messed up and I feel like when you can go into autopilot, that is it can be a good sign. It's kind of a bad sign if you're like doing what we're doing here with a lot of um, like where you're copying a large segment of code. That's probably not um, a good feeling. But like everything that we've done thus far has been pretty good. Um, and like the fact that like you just go down there to radius and just copy and paste a new thing in there. Now, I mean, kind of would be nice if I had a way, maybe I could say, hey, anything that has this attribute, um, like, then just show radius. So, like, has radius or something like that. And that is something that I'm really going to try on my next one. Something where, like, I have like, for these, every one of these types has like what fields are available, and then they get generated based on what's available. That would be really nice, instead of having to do this copy paste. But like that, um, this architecture would have to be completely redone in order to be able to do that. Like I don't think that that's something that we could retrofit or shoehorn in there. Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing. No, that isohedron. Okay, and it stays, and that's exactly what's expected. And now we come over here, and I don't know why we always end up, because I feel like we left. Oh well, no, we left on the lower one. Alt tab over, back over to Chat GPT. Just copy this whole chunk of code. Back to here again. And now this is supposed to be a 20-sided geometry. Probably should put them in order of the number of sides. Over in the UI, depending on the time and all that. I may go do that right after this. And show edit form. Probably should go sphere, a text sphere. I probably should go cube, and then the other ones. I think we definitely wouldn't want. I don't know. Okay, so now that's supposed to be 20-sided. Can't really tell because of the kind of material it is and the lighting. So we want to go normal. Oh yeah, I think that looks nice. So let's start with X rotation first. 3, 3, and 3. And that's nice. And that's really nice. Let's make it bigger. Oh wow, you can't even. Is it a circle now? Go back to a 1. So somehow it reverted back to a circle. And it's not even changing. Let's see, did we get something in the console? Cone. Plane. Interesting. I wonder if it's, let's see. let's try a, and then let's go back to a cube. That's an interesting. So it's basically looks like a sphere. Once, what if I change it from like a? I should have just deleted it, but from a dodahedron, then go back to a. Okay, so it's happy if I do that. But I think once it becomes a sphere, let's do this one. Then, okay, that was, oh, once I changed the size, it got, once I changed the radius. Yeah, the minute I changed the radius, it became a circle. So let's see, where are we on time? 36 minutes. Okay, so I guess what we should do is look in the mesh man. Oh, I bet you it's in the mesh manager component. I bet you it's in this here. Value change, subscribe. Oh, and somehow after this it became a circle. When we changed the radius, it became a circle. Update mesh, comma, mesh item. Let's see, I don't know, my bird has decided to eat on the plant over there, and that might be, it might be toxic to her, so I'm a little nervous about that. Rhett, don't stop that. I mean, and she does not like being told not to do something. I'll be right back. I really don't mind her chewing on the plant, but I don't want her to get sick from it. So I'm going to take that away from her and see what happens. Okay, so what happened was before is we would, let's look at our console log. Okay, so we add a mesh, we edit it, we turn it to like a octahedron, and then it's kind of nice because that's the main thing. And then if we change the radius, not even actually change it, we'd alter the radius, it's still an octahedron. But for some reason, and I'm guessing it has something to do with that second parameter, that 16 or something that I had in there. So that was my first guess, was that it was changing it to a circle. But when we change this, okay, so let's just try this. Comma 32. That's the detail. Maybe it's just zero, no details. So let's try that. Show edit, add mesh. Let's see, octahedron. Okay, so now with the 32, even when you first do it, all right, when you very, very first set it to an octahedron, that's messed up. So if I set this to 1, then add mesh, show edit form, change it to an octahedron. Looks good, but then if we change its radius, it looks bad. So I'm guessing maybe it's that new thing where I'm like, why do I even have this code? Or maybe, okay, so that was the new, this is the update. Ah, that was the 32. Let's change that to a 1. And add mesh, edit form, octahedron, change the radius. Yeah, so that's what that was. So this is just a really good example of like we were flying, but then we made the same mistake over and over and over again. And fortunately, this code isn't, just all over the place. But if it was some complex code and we'd gone through and just gone crazy updating everything and it was just all over the place, we might have a huge mess on our hands. Fortunately, it's not. Just looked up to see if my bird was passed out or not after she was chewing on that plant. Definitely gonna have to look up online to see if that plant is in fact toxic. She's pretty smart, like she won't usually eat stuff that's bad for her. So I would think she wouldn't, and it's probably actually tasty to her. So okay, so now let's try one of the other hedrons. Hedron, and then turn it into a normal, and then change its radius to 2. That's interesting. 2, and then let's just rotate it a little bit to, I guess we'll animate it so we can see. So it's not very easy to see. Oh, it's still, even if when I go back to 1. Okay, so what is let's look up the other one and see what that one is doing. Is that one's sending it to 1? So this is the part where, oh, there's 8 of them. Okay, so let's go up. Okay, so this is the dodahedron. So let's just say 1, 1. Okay, setting this adds vertices, no longer. So it's defaults. It's weird. So let's reload. Dodahedron. Make it a normal. So it's off now, right? So let's make this 0 again. It says that's what the default was. So add mesh, show edit form. Normal. Okay, so now we'll make it like point. Okay, So I think the dodahedron's supposed to be 0. Maybe it's okay. So I guess what we want to do is maybe a little different for every implementation. This is how code goes. Dodahedron. You feeling okay, Rhett? You feeling okay? Yeah? Okay. Well, I have to keep an eye on you all day today. Make sure you stay okay. Okay. So now that seems to be good. So then I guess what we need to do is go down to the next one. And tetrahedron's messed up now. And that one probably needs to be 0. And then 0. And let's try our tetrahedron. And edit, and then cube, and then run, and then normal. That was not what we had for a tetrahedron a second ago. I don't think that's what we had. 3 and animate. 3. Change the radius to 2. Go back to dodahedron. That's happy. Go down to octahedron. And it's all screwed up. And that's because that's supposed to be a 0. And that's just... Okay, so isohedron, I never even set it. So let's set that to 0. And then that's all the hedrons. Down here, wait, who's 16? Oh, circle. So I would imagine, yeah, if circle isn't a whole bunch, then it doesn't show up as a 0. And then let's go back up here to where when we create them, plane 0, 0, 0, everybody is 0. Then I guess on the update is plane geometry, circle geometry. That's the first one. And it happens right here. That's set to 0. That one's set to 0. This one is set to 1. Let's change that to 0. This one is set to 1. Let's change that to 0. I think there was 4 of them, right? 4 of them. Yes. So debugging is a little bit more like if you think about it than normal when we have just one. Just because if you make a mistake, you sort of make a mistake, the same mistake on all of them, which is, I guess, another sign of like downside to copy paste is, let's see. You ready? And animated, and then 3, 3, 3, and then 2, and then 1, 1, 21. See, we're inside of it, so then the materials only, we learned yesterday, the materials only color one side by default. Octahedron 2. So that's why you can't see them when you're on the inside. We learned that with the planes. 1, and then that's that. So that's cool. We learned some cool stuff. 2. That's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, so we did all four today. We did it in right at 50 minutes, which is pretty cool. Can't really beat that. My bird ate some plant and still hasn't passed out, so I guess she's probably okay. Um, Definitely need to move that plant. And yeah, so everything is good. That was fast. We were basically flying. We did four new shapes in less than an hour, and we did two shapes yesterday in an hour. I'm curious. Oh, I wonder what a circle looks like. I think that's pretty cool. Um, I think what we would need to like where we choose the materials, maybe we would need to say like have another choice where you could say one side or front, back, or both um, on the material. Um, but it seems like you also want to be able to do them independently. So that's going to get weird. Fortunately, we don't need to do that. I'm glad we learned about that. Um, but it does so, and that's the weird thing, right? About all this is there's like so many different ways, right? Like so, like sometimes you're just updating a property like width, but then sometimes you're updating like a property that's an object, like a material. But then sometimes you're you want maybe you want two materials, one for the front, one for the front, and one for the back. But then you may want one material that handles front and back, and then maybe you want, or maybe it's always one material, and you can either go front, back, or both, and then you can set the colors to the front and the back. But anyways, it's pretty cool. I think let's see, six. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I do think that these actual images do sometimes really get her attention, get Rhett's attention. But anyways, happy Christmas Eve, everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you know, no matter what your situation is, I hope things are going well. And happy coding, everybody. Bye.